Hi there, how's it going? This is Chris, as you know. Okay, so I told you probably in the last tutorial, I can't even remember, but I told you in the last set, I think, that I couldn't decide whether I was going to go for arms or head. It's going to be head. So, what I need to do is start with a table. Remember, I've talked about making these in the past. It's just so that I've got really something to build off. So, let's do that. Gives a good idea of, like, you know, tall our monster is. Well, monster, robot, whatever. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that over to there. Now, obviously the torso is quite high polygon, okay, so if you want to just separate out the front armor for the time being, then go for it, you know. Okay, I just want to make sure that this is in the right place, so I'm just moving it along. And I don't have my key viewer on, so I'll just quickly pause and turn. There we go, now it's back on again. Okay, so head. Zoom into the area that I wanted, and this will give me a good idea of how big it needs to be. Just going to right click this and convert it to an editable poly. You may notice I've got lots more things like in my right click menu now. There's a lot of V-Ray stuff appeared. It's because I've got a new license for V-Ray, but don't worry about that for the moment. I've been a busy couple of weeks. Okay, so the head is going to go into here. So the first thing I need to do really is come up with a shape for the head. So I'm going to start with a plane, and I'm just going to draw it out using auto grid, just like so. And then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. I've got angle snap already turned on. Then bring it up. Okay, and that'll give me all the starting place really that I need here. I'm going to hit F4. And right click, convert to editable polygon. I'm going to get rid of the right hand side for the moment. I don't think I need it. Probably get rid of that bit as well. Don't need that particular part either. Right, just zoom in on this. And what I can do is just get my swift loop tool, and I can just put one in just here, like that. And now I can use just verts. I'm going to start by moving this one. I'm going to create another one here actually. There we go. Move that to about there. Grab these and just move them with it. Okay, and just get rid of this piece here. I think I can probably move these along a bit more. Because what I'm doing is I'm just creating kind of an outline shape for the bottom of the head on the right hand side of the face. Then from there I can kind of go on and do some additional bits. I'm going to bring this edge here down, like so. And then I'm going to use swift loop to just build where I need the loops to be. Just so that I can basically be fairly sure that when I apply bend to this, it's going to be fairly even. Okay, that looks fine. Now what I'm going to do, just right click to get out of that, and go to my bend modifier. And then from that, I want a 90-degree angle for the moment. Now let's take that off because I've got this. Want to see why I was bending that way. Oh no, it's just the axis it was on. Okay, bear in mind it's quite early for me at the moment and teeny bit strung out today. There we go, the x-axis looks like it was the correct one. And what I can do is I can change my actual gizmo pivot point there. I'm doing that just to narrow it a bit. Just narrow the angle in. Okay, convert to editable poly again. Or I can just add an edited poly to the stack. Now then, this is okay, but it's not quite long enough, so I'm going to do an FFD. Just 2 by 2. I'll just click on there so that I get access to my points. Do that. Right, now I'm going to get rid of this because it's just starting to distract me a little bit. Because what I need to do now is look at this and just make sure it's going to fit into the hole that I've allocated it. There we go, like so. And it does, so that's a good start. And now I need to get the top part of the head as well. Now as you can see, I've elongated this one, so if I just probably should have left the table piece that I was using there. Never mind, I can use a box and draw it out from one of those pieces that makes up the frame. Let's just let autosave do its thing. Okay, so here's an auto grid, and let's bring that out again. And from this, I'm going to create a sphere. I'm not going to create what do you call it? Geosphere, because the geometry isn't really right for what I need with a geosphere. If I was doing like a non-robot kind of thing, then yes, maybe I would, but not in this instance. I'm going to now align this and this together. Click OK. And then with them both selected, hide unselected. This makes things a lot easier. Okay, now I'm going to hemisphere this to 0.5, so I've only got half the size of it that I initially had. And if I go to my left viewport and zoom, I'm just going to bring this over here, just so I can see roughly the kind of height that I need to be working with. It would appear that I've actually more or less got the radius correct, which is bizarre considering I was working freehand. I'll just increase it a little bit more like that. Then bring this over like that. There we go. So we get some height on it. Right click, convert to editable polygon. Get the front view at the zoom. And the front view I'm going to stick on an FFD as well. I think before I do that I'm going to kill off half the geometry because there's no point having all of it. There we go. Just go on the top there and get rid of that piece that I can see. Show there's a piece of geometry there somewhere hiding. Nope, does not appear to be. Okay, fine. Just quickly check it out using perspective view. Okay, and I'm going to take away the bottom. Okay, and go back into front view again. Right, in front view I'm going to put on my FFD. I just want a 2x2. And I'm just going to go click here and bring that in just till it's there. If we go to perspective and zoom, you can see that the shape isn't exactly right. We've got kind of a round head conical helmet thing going on here. That's okay because we can adjust that in just a moment. Convert to editable poly. What I'm going to do is take off the back because we have no need of the back. And then I'm going to apply an FFD again. This time it's a 3x3. Just go into it like that. And what I can do is just do that. So now the shape is somewhat better than it was. See, we have that shape now. Okay, now convert to editable polygon, like so. And what I'm going to do is just look at these and probably attach them together at some point. First I want to collapse this one as well, and then stick in a shell. There it is up there. Okay, now the shell, I want an inner amount. I'll stick 3 on for the moment, see how that looks. It's quite nice, it's giving us quite a thick kind of outer there. So up here I'm going to do the same as well, just put on a shell. And again, inner amount 3. And just look at those. The shape's okay, I'm quite okay with that so far. Next, convert to, I'll do it for both of them. Editable poly, like that, and pardon me. Now what I want to do is just mirror these, so I'll just go to my mirror tool, make a copy, I can offset my mirror, that way we get this nice space here. Okay, because I like the fact there's a space going down the middle, and I just want to see how that's going to look. And that's fine. Okay. Delete, delete, and I'm going to attach these two together. Like that. Okay, now over here, where this is, I'm going to go to select my polygon, and I'm going to grab these just here, and I'm going to extrude them. But I'm not going to extrude them by anything, just by 0. Click tick. Now I can just bring them out like that to any length that I want. Just flatten them. And over here, if I just wait for autosave again. Bear with me, I've got quite a snuffly nose going on today. Hang on. Ah, there we are. Let's grab this bit and this bit. Just bring them straight up like so. And in a bit. There we are. And then I can take these, bring them in a little bit too. Like that. Okay, so we get this kind of shape here, which is going to be important for us later on. Now, what I'm going to do here as well is just grab this and bring it down. Like so. Okay, so we're starting to make the mount for the head. Now, I don't have a row coming in on the inside of these, and I really would rather have that. Now, probably should have extruded this afterwards. Let's have a quick look. Take that in again. Just go on the safe side. Hang on. There, so I haven't got the extrude, because what I forgot was I want a little swift loop here and here. So I'll just do it like that. Okay, that's a bit better. Right, now I'm going to select these ones. Just here, and I'll do the extrude again by 0. Just bring them out, flatten, and this way I've got room for the rim that's going to go around the inside of this. There we are. Get both the edges there. So just into there, then down here. And then at the top here. That's a very strange looking polygon out of nowhere, isn't it? What's going on there? Where did you come from, polygon? Oh, I see, from there. Okay, well I'll just grow it. Sometimes mistakes happen, you see. Just cap it again. Job done. Okay, so I've got this shape, and I'm going to bring these in as well. did flatten those pieces so I can. There we go, and I've got a nice flat surface just there now. Now over here, where these are, I'm going to select these polygons because I want, like I said, a nice rim. So I'm going to extrude them, and just increase the amount and change this to a local normal. Now I don't want too much, so I'm just going to make a small rim, just like so. Tick. And then I'm going to extrude it again just by a small amount. Tick. Then I want to get these parts. Okay, and with these parts I can just extrude them straight up. Like that. I'm just going to flatten them on one axis. Okay, so we can see behind here now there's this kind of row going on. It doesn't need to connect to the top part here. That's not really important. What I'm going to do though is stick a swift loop just about here. And by doing that, it means that when I apply turbo smooth or open sub div or whatever, it's not going to basically stop revealing that part, and I've got plenty of room for the machinery to go onto. Okay, now again looking at the shape that I've got and how it's working, I'm at a position where I'd like to have two of these, so I'm going to stick symmetry on like so and flip it, and this is nowhere near wide enough. It's quite a narrow looking helmet, remember, so I'm going to just expand it out like this. Okay, and then just pin my stack and go back to editable poly, show end result. Just quickly check out the model. It's fine. I'm just going to collapse it. I'm not going to work in symmetry because the model's about to stop being quite so symmetrical anyway, so convert to editable poly. And if I just go in here and select these three and these three, just bridge those. And just a bridge here as well, just checking it. Come back and see how that looks. Just wait for autosave again. Okay, that's pretty good. Come on back and have a look as well. It's a good sturdy solid looking shape. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is basically start refining the shape and bringing out parts, just to, one, give it an element where it's going to look kind of stronger than it actually was, and also to add detail. So just use my select tool, and by using the select tool I can get some interesting shapes. Now this one here that I'm just looking at, I'm going to get a very angular shape here, and I don't really want an angular shape here. So let's have a look and see if there's any way I can improve that. Now, if you were to select by vertex, you'd have to kind of bring it back and then kind of spin around your model and bring it over here, and be sure that it hadn't like ruined the topo of your model. You see, notice how it's now dinted inwards. So there's a few different ways that you can kind of do this. One is that you can just grab this edge here and do a ring, and then in your ring do a connect like so, and then we can basically connect this one to this one and it'll make a smoother edge. The only problem is this is then going to be a triangle, so you'll have to quadrify your mesh. But if I just go to target weld, you can see that the flow here is going to be a lot smoother than it is if we have this large solid piece here. There's also a few other ways we can do it as well, using chamfers to bring it down. I'll show you that method because that one's not going to be quite so destructive to our mesh. Okay, so I'm going to select out all the pieces that we need first. Like this. Just go around them all. Okay, so we've got this shape here. And now if I extrude it, and it's extruding it by local normal, there we are, just bring it in. We don't need to bring it in far, so I'm going to say bring it in 1/2. That's the scale that I'm using. Obviously the scale that you're using is different. So there we go, 1/2 scale brought in. Now over here, do the same again. Obviously if I was working on symmetry at this point I wouldn't have to, but oops, just use the select tool rather than select and move actually. There we go. Okay, and I can just press the same settings from last time. There they go. Now with this one we can see that this is possibly going to be a bit thick. Also I need to put in some swift loops and get them to match up, so I'm going to have one here, one, just try and get it to match up there, and I'm just going to have the extrusion come around the bottom on this one. There, and I can see that that ring there is actually a little bit too high. Hang on. So I'll just a bit low, sorry. So I'll just make it a bit higher. There we go. Right, drop back in perspective. And I'm just building some shapes that I think look interesting at this point. As I just apply another extrude to it. There we go. And just have a look at it to see how it's looking. Looking okay. Now, remember what I said, this angle here is too sharp, so if we go into edge mode, and with this I'll also go into the other one's edge, so I just press Control obviously while I was clicking on it, and I'm going to go to chamfer, just let autosave do its thing again, never turn off autosave. Ah, oh, lovely coffee. Right. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so right click, convert to editable polygon, and now I'm going to do a quick weld because I've got verts really close to each other. So Control A, do a weld, and we'll see that they've gone down a little bit. There we go. Alright, now I'm at the point where I want to start kind of smoothing out this model a bit. So if I just have a look at it, bring it back to about there, and make this just a reference. And on here I'm putting open subdiv, and just throw on 2 iterations for the moment. So now you can kind of see what a difference it's making here. It's actually a much smoother piece as it comes through. Okay, so on this one, F4 so I can see edged faces, and I'm going to go straight to business. Put swift loop on. First thing I want to do is define this curve on the inside here, right at the edge here. Okay, so you can see it now. It's defined over there too. I'll do it on the other side. Define edge 1. Define edge 2. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now, over here, I'm going to define the back so that it's nice and straight. See that curve there? I don't mind that, that's nice. And this one, I can make the curve either. If we look at the one on the right when I'm doing it, click there, you can see we can make a nice sharp kind of curve, or I can make the curve much looser by doing that. And the looser curve is the one that's winning for me on this in this regard. I do prefer the looser one. So I'll do the same again over here as well. About there, so you see it's nice and loose, maybe a little bit more loose. There, that's nice. And I can put it in there as well. Okay, so you can see they're both in. Now, on the top here, quite a good shape. I could do that if I want more definition to it. But I think the most definition I want is going to be actually on the inside of the area that the eyes or eye mechanisms are going to be. So you can see that sharpened that nicely. And then on the outside here, I'm going to have one just there. We'll just look at the other piece and see how that's doing. Yeah, 4. Let's give it a second for realistic mode to kick in so I can see how it's looking. That's okay, but there's too much of a curve just there. So you combat that by doing this. And then I'll come inside. I've already got that one there anyway. And I'd really like quite a sharp edge here. Just trying to find the best place to put my loop. Be there. Then come around this side and do the same again. Okay, so we've got the sweeps coming in where I need them just there, so that's good. Let's have a quick look on the bottom here, because the bottom isn't very well defined compared to the top. So let's just put a swoosh there, and there. There, that gives us a nice firm edge on the bottom. And then here. Now you see there we've got that weird lump going on, and that's from these, okay? So what we can do is we can actually kill off these edges that we don't need here. So I'm just going to go into select mode, and I'm going to deselect these ones, okay? These ones are fine, those ones aren't. Do a control and backspace, and now we get our curve shape back, see? Just there. I'm not going to bother joining that to anything, but I'm going to come around the other side and basically put the same edge on again and then delete those pieces. Remember, if you do a control and backspace, it gets rid of the verts as well, so you're not going to end up with muchos weirdness. And again, deselect those and then control and backspace. Okay, so we don't get, like I said, that weird kind of extra vert there that makes that a bit rough. Okay, now coming in on the top part, and before I do anything, I'm just going to delete or move or hide or whatever the back piece and zoom in, because while I like this, I also want it to be connected together at the front. So what I'm going to do is grab these here and here. Actually, no, I'm going to go behind it. change my mind about that. So I'm going to go here and here, and I'll just get these ones here, and I am going to just extrude them by local normal, tick, sorry, plus, and then tick. Okay, so that gives us these inside edges here, and then for these inside edges, I'm just going to select these and bridge them. Okay, and that basically fills that area there and leaves a space behind it at the same time. Okay, now I'm going to create another copy of this so I can basically see what I'm doing, make a reference and stick an open subdiv on it. Okay. Stick on 2 open subdivs, that way I can see it better. Now over here, I'm going to start putting on my swift loops. So I need one in the bottom, just there, then another one just here. Note that I'm obviously trying to keep them at the same height. As you know, putting on a swift loop can be a little bit tricky once you start getting the polygon counts coming up, so just take your time. Now then, come around a bit. One here, and here, and look at these shapes here. I'm going to have one. Now then, I don't want to actually put too much of an angle into this shape, so what I'm going to do instead is have my swift loops come in here. 1, 2, and that gives me a nice firm ridge. Do the same again here. And there. And one there. There we go. Now then, obviously rounded ain't going to be doing me no good. So, look at the shapes. I think what I'm going to do is add just a chamfer to this. Select here and here, here and here, and I should be able to grow them. Grew them too much, that's no good. That's okay, I can just deselect the parts I don't need. It saves me having to select the little teeny weeny bits. And now I can chamfer. Obviously not that much. Tick. That's a better shape. Much better shape, in fact. Okay, so we're getting the basic shapes here coming in, so I'm pleased with that. What I'm going to need to do is check the little bridge there. There's not an actual nose, but there's a bridge there, so I'm going to check that. And also the inside angle here is a little bit shallow, so let's have a look. I can fix that straight away with a swift loop to about there. And same one just here, and then on the top where this is, let's come in. There, there. And I'll put the rim there. And there. Right. So now with the basic actual shape of the head done. I'll just do that. What I'm going to do is start putting in some detail pieces so that we have things like stuff that looks like eyes and junk like that. Okay, so I shall see you in the next bit. Till then, bye.